The first couple situations, it might seem like too simple for the more advanced ones, but I think it's important to go over the progression so everybody understands the whole picture of it. So the first one we're gonna see is the one you're like this, facing my head. Okay, so my first reaction, the first thing I have to worry is to go ahead and put my elbows close to me, okay? In a position where I will look to put my elbow on the ground if possible, and the other one will be close to me, but ready to come towards the shoulder here. My intention is to protect myself, but when I need to make sure to create a certain distance over here. And notice that I'm not pushing him, I'm making a point of leverage where I go on the shoulder, so my elbow can be on his neck. So even if he's stronger than me, he's not gonna be choking himself and trying to beat me with this, okay? So I keep it here at first, repeating what I said, ideally having the elbow on the ground. And now, as I come to the shoulder, I will start to escape my hip away, okay? So he wants to have his hip glued to me, I'm going to move it out. When I make enough space that you see that he's kind of falling in an empty space, that's when I will start to make the pressure. I could just try to do this, but then I'm gonna use the strength of my abs. Whoever is stronger is gonna have the preference and come up. So basically what I do when I make the escape is to use the tunnel my leg is doing to bring the other one under, okay? That will make my hip switch and my belly button goes to the ground. Now it's no longer a matter of strength, it's the structure of my body that makes the possibility of me coming up. I position myself the exact same way so the other person can already do, okay? So once again, the person falls here, just past my guard, whatever it was, maybe took me down, I put myself close here. There's no need to get desperate here. Make yourself safe, don't expose yourself, put it close. Now I start to escape my hip. When I feel I have enough distance, and of course, when you're doing for the first time, the person doesn't have to react, but when the person is doing what he would do, he's gonna try to follow the hip, right? So as I move, he's gonna try to follow. So I just have to make it faster and put in an angle. You see that we're like on the same line. That would be the ideal point. And that's when I stretch. Again, I'm not just sitting up, I'm doing the switch of my hips going to the ground. So now I can easily come up and switch for the other person to do the same technique. Okay? Questions? Let's try it. 1, 2.
Spin it. This. Spin it. Slow, yeah. Slow.
So now we're gonna work on the situation where the person is just following very tight. Whenever I try to escape, he keeps following. Or that also happened, that was one of the questions I had, is that the person is putting the weight a little bit, not so much on the hip on the ground, but a little bit more on top of me. It's still sideways, but a little bit more like pushing on top of me.
This?
No, like this. Yes. So I don't have enough space to make the distance, because every time I come, it just follows and I don't have that space. Okay? So it could be whichever of the situation. Again, You're gonna put your elbow on the ground, and now what I like to do is make sure I make a grip that it might be on the pants, and closing, out. I'll make sure to rotate so everybody sees, but feel free to walk around, no problem. Okay, so closing, sometimes on the belt, okay? If I have both options, I'll do on the pants, just because I control better the hip with my forearm, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. Close it over here. And here will be the same. I might even make a grip or be ready to push it back. So what I'm going to do is I start going for the first one, okay? Just because it's effortless. But he follows, so go ahead and follow. So I feel that I cannot make enough distance. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch. I'm going to go towards him. So now it's weird for him because I'm not running away. I'm coming close where he wanted before. And then what I'm going to do is this, post my foot and bump him high, okay? This, I'm stopping just to show, because that has to be done in a continuous motion. But just to show, that's what you do. You bump. The moment you bump, you drop the leg that is closer to him and put it under, okay? Now you push what you had and you do the hip movement inside, okay? Now I'm gonna do one motion for you to see how it goes. So I'm gonna escape and you get close, okay? So I'm escape, I'm coming close. Now I bump, move, turn to the other side, switch. If you do this movement and you feel that you're using a lot of strength, something is wrong, okay? That position, you have to use no strength. Then it means that you did it correct. So I'm gonna do it again, look. I'm gonna do it slow first. Move it out. I cannot find space, I move it back. So I'm glued to him, to the point that he kind of has to break the ground for me not to push forward. Now I bump. When I bump, you see there is a little space. I'll drop my leg in. I'll do the hip movement at the same time. Okay? Now I'm gonna do one motion. So keep it close, bring it back, push. Switch. So he will do the same thing. Okay, one more time. Move it out, and close, bump, leg. This is the movement. Bump, bring it, hip. And my hand, it's on the same place. So as I move, it's right here, come on top, and switch. Okay, questions? No? 1, 2, 3, 4.
It still works.
I think we'll probably, let me feel what I would do. I think maybe, but see how I don't have the hip? I would maybe push you, but I'll probably from here work my way out. So do it again, so let me feel. I'll work my way out first.
Ik wou dat ze sneller moet beginnen duwen. Zoals de meer dat je doet, zoals de makkelijker de rest voor. Terugkomen en ik zou hem zo moeten afkennen voor je naar voren komt. Dus je kunt. Oh, dat is niet zo goed.
So the tighter the person is holding you, the easier will be to do that position. Because then he's connected to you, and when you bump, his reaction becomes harder for him to switch his reaction. So when he's holding you tighter, it's easier for you. Now, if he's more relaxed and more aware of your movement, this is what's gonna happen most of the time. So I try the first, he's here, and now he's not so tight on me. So when I try this, and I go to do the bump, he switches his hips and falls back here, or go back. When I bump, he already goes to the knee. So when I do this, he falls on the knee, and then I don't have the leverage I need, because he's not concerned about keeping himself super tight or putting the pressure on top of me. Okay, you understand that difference? Now, but there is a good thing about it. When he's not doing, you're gonna still insist, because whenever you make the bump, he makes the switch. You're gonna have your arm in the structure that you want, a safe structure right under him. Okay? And there will be enough distance for you to move your hips and bring your knee inside. Right? Now, if he stays heavy on the knees, you just push it and put on the guard, okay? That's great. But most of the times, whenever you're coming to put your knee inside, he's gonna shut himself and put pressure on top of you. So, see, I don't have the space to bring my knee up, but if I manage to put my knee inside, this is what I'm going to do. Look, that knee is going to point in, okay? Just my knee, my foot's still stuck. But the fact that my knee is pointing out, now I have leverage to do this and catch his legs and secure at least half guard. Okay? That's gonna be my goal for the moment. So go back, the whole thing. So I'm gonna try, put it, he switch the hip. I make distance. If he stay on his heels, heavy on his butt, I make distance and I'm safe. But the moment that I'm bringing my knee, he puts all the pressure here. So what I do, I point my knee inside, and look the leverage I have when I point. I just bring the other one, secure half guard, and then at least you have put it back on half guard. If you guys want, we can go over what you do from here, but I want to at first to stop at this point so you feel comfortable that at least he's back in your guard. Okay? Once more. Let's switch sides. I go for the previous one. When I bump, maybe already here, I bump, he turns. Okay, structure, distance. Great. When I come, he makes himself small. Now what I do, I point my knee and bring it. I keep the motion. I go in and I keep the motion. So go in, bring it here. Lock, and I'm secure on half guard. Any questions? Nope. Okay, let's try. 1, 2. To come back with both knees on the ground. So we're gonna do now when he has both knees on the ground, and it could be for whatever reason. Maybe he already started like this, and maybe it was like before he made the transition. Okay. I use, when I was starting jiu-jitsu, well, always say don't hug, never hug. But then as I keep training, I came to the conclusion, and also from other people, learning from other people, that it doesn't mean that you should never hug, but there is a reason behind if you decide to hug, okay? What you should never do is expose your arm to the person to just catch. Whenever you put your arm just around, just to hug the person close to you, he's gonna start to trap your arm and go for the arm bar. But there is an important thing. Majority of attacks of arm bars, they're gonna go over your head to do the switch, okay? So what is important at first is that you keep your elbows to you. Often I like to bring that hand, as I told, in front of the shoulder, just the same way I had it before. So we're gonna start with this one, okay? So imagine somebody just passing my guard, I'm resisting, I feel that I'm gonna lose, I already keep it here. So it's always easier when you do from the beginning than it is if he's controlling you to find your way in. Then you're gonna have to do the other things that I'm gonna show next. So let's just start in a situation where you're ready. When you feel you're about to lose your guard, you're going to keep it here. So now we're gonna do the same as before. So remember, I make the structure. I move it out to make the structure. So I have some space to come in. On the previous round, remember that I showed coming under here and then switching there? I only do under close to the hip because that's the only space I had before. But if I manage to make a good amount of space where I'm lifting him with this, instead of coming on the line of the belt, I will come on the line of the armpit, okay? And that's much more effective if you manage to come over here, because now even if he tries to crush me, I have that strength of my hips. While when I'm over here, I have the same strength but not going up, and that's why I push it in and use my hips to bring him on top of me where I can catch him. But this is what we're gonna do now. Make the space and bring it here. Notice how I raise my hips, and now I push it knee up, okay? I have never caught anybody in an arm bar here, but just because they feel trapped and they take it out. But I make enough space to put him back on the guard. So that's what you're going to look for. Make enough space to bring it here. And again, if he's holding me tight, go ahead and do a little bit of strength. I cannot do it. But like I was telling in the beginning, when he's making strength and holding you, you rest. If he's holding you, he's busy just keeping you down. So he's not attacking you. That's the moment you rest. You accept that you control. Just position yourself ready. Whenever he starts to move and make his transition, I feel he relax the muscle. He starts to prepare to push the ground and all this. I wait at this moment. That's when I make my movement under the armpit. Get used to this, under the armpit. Now, push it up. Control here, so he has the reaction to take it out. You have your distance and you're back on the ground. Okay? Once again. If he's flexing the muscle, I rest. That's the moment to relax. The moment I feel he's gonna start to go, I make the space, bring it in, push it. Okay? Keep it. He's gonna retreat his elbow, and you put back on the guard. Questions? No? Okay, let's try. 1, 2, 3.
Fire set.
Whenever you decide you're going to attack me and you're going to move, transition, whatever, and now, I'm not going to turn here. That's what we're used to do most of the time. I'm going to come It's something else if it's like 1 minute, you're gonna use the fight. And then you waste all your energy, but you're not thinking of this. the early beginning of the fight, depends on the guard. You're so strong that you just move yourself. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to be holding the bar. When I do this, so you basically position yourself as safe as you can. You're not able to secure the inside, and he got close or head down, and you don't have the space to get in. Okay? So when that happens, I like to control and make some kind of control on the head. Okay? What I like to do is similar. It's like this. Notice I'm going towards the other armpit. Okay? Now go down for a second. It would be the same kind of control I look for when I'm over here, that I'm giving pressure. That's the kind of control I'm gonna do from here. Of course, I won't bother him enough to, to make him make space. I would say to relax to choke or to bother him. But I'm gonna bother his posture. Okay, this is what I'm looking. Now it's also important that as I do this, I make sure he doesn't transition to my head, so I'm blocking over here. Because if I just hug him and I'm not blocking his hips, he's gonna start walking towards my head, going to the north-south, and maybe starting to put me sideways and attack my arm. So I'm basically blocking him like this, okay? Of course, with not the arm stretch, so I'm keeping like this. Okay, now this is what I'm going to do. Exaggerate the motion at the same time that I'm blocking, escape my hip. I don't have the space to come under the armpit, that is ideal, but I have the space to come under the legs, and again, push it in and bring it to me. Okay, so this couldn't get in, this is the motion I do. Bring it to me. Okay, so it's a slight variation. What's important is that you feel comfortable with the fact that he's in the inside and not you. So you keep it here, keep it there. Okay? Now you're gonna do the motion, you make that transition, bring it in, bring it to you, and you have halfway. Okay? Let's try this one. It's almost the same except this variation. Then we move to the next one. Okay? 1, 2. Now look, what you have to understand is that in reality, to escape side control, there are very few, the base, it's like a couple things, okay? Now, there are few variations depending on the reaction. If the guy puts too much pressure, if he has the inside control, if you have the inside control. But if you understand the core of this, the position, the base of it, you're gonna be able to improvise depending as well on the way your training partner or opponent improvise, okay? A question that I had, what if there is a lot of pressure here on the face? They're like, go ahead and, trying to do this. Now look, if there is, and that happens a lot, right? If there is this kind of pressure and you're allowing the head to be like across with you, that's when it's gonna be worse. So that would be the perfect moment for you to do this, okay? And even if you're not blocking over here, even if I'm doing this and I'm leaving my legs in a way that he might think about mounting, okay? So if he throws, look, this is blocking. It's not like he's just gonna come over here and I have nothing to do. So I make the distance, he throws the leg, I start to bring it in because I already have the space just because I framed, okay? So making that structure here, it's very important for you all the time. So ideally you want to have it inside, but you're lost, you keep working on the hip, making distance, pushing it away, okay? Now, let's say the guy decides, instead of controlling here, to come to this side of the hip. Very common, they control maybe the pants, maybe whatever grip he makes, but blocking this. It doesn't mean that you cannot get out anymore, but again, that's the little variations where it's gonna start. So there's nothing stopping me from coming inside, back here. What I'm going to do is my hand, instead of staying here on the hip, I'm gonna start to work, make some distance here, to put it next to my body, okay? For that, often I'm gonna have to bump him, make space to the point where I get towards my shin. This is what I do, okay? Now, from here, I'm going to post my outside leg and escape my hip out. My basic idea is to make sure I break his grip and make distance in between his arm and my leg. So the moment that I do this, I'm holding my shin, in a way I'm blocking as well, making like a fence. So if he tries to put like knee on the belly, I'm blocking. My arm becomes a protection over here. I'm not allowing that. So as soon as I feel his arm is not super tight, because if he holds super tight, make a grip there. I cannot move, no problem. Like I said, that's when I rest, okay? But the moment that I make it a strong movement and move it away, I will point my knee in. The same way I pointed it in when I had in between his legs, except that this time is going to be on his arm. Now my hand is going to slide and hold the wrist, and I will point the knee on that direction, okay? Over here, I have it some kind of control on the arm. What I'm going to do is to lift both, okay? That's why this is again important, and my arm. So I make enough distance to bring my outside leg inside, okay? Make it distance away, let go of the arm, push it back. All based on this control, okay? Like making an X on his arm. So I keep it here, distance, push it away, and put on the guard. This is what we're gonna do first. So I'm over here, go ahead, control the other side. I already put my hand there, look for my shin, I'm making the fence. Try to put knee on the belly, I'm blocking. If it does that, distance that I need. If that's not the case, I move it away, bring it in. Now I hold it and slide. This is what I do. Now I'm gonna do the frame here and this to lift. Bring it in. As I push it away, I just bring that knee towards the shoulder, push it back, and I put him back on the guard. Questions? No?
Maybe show from this side.
Show a different angle. Let's try here. So over here, control. I start bringing it in, and I'm going to put and hold over here. So now I make the distance with my hip, bring it in. I will slide and control the wrist. Knee goes in. Now I'm lifting, bring it in. So I push him away. Now I can let go of here, secure the hip, bring it back, and put on the guard. Okay, let's try. 1, 2. Some of you were having a little bit of trouble finding the space to put your hand glued to your leg in between his arm and your leg, okay? It's also possible, and I like to do that sometimes, is that you come with that hand and you just make a grip on his sleeve, okay? So if you're having a hard time, bring it in to make that space. You can control the sleeve, okay? That's very good as well. And the idea is the same. You're going to escape, move it in, move it out the arm, and move your knee in. So then right away you slide in and you back here. So this is a good control. I was showing before controlling the wrist. Now you're gonna control here. So you're gonna do the same now, okay? A little bit more advanced, but I think you guys are gonna be okay. So make the space, I bring it in, okay? Now once I have the X, I was just telling you to push, let go, and secure over here, okay? That's not bad, but I'm gonna show something that might lead you to an attack. So once you have it over here, you're going to make that motion here, making the space, and now you're going to put your head inside. Basically, you're going to lead yourself to the north-south, okay? He's not moving, but you're moving yourself over here. That's the motion, okay? So say again here. You're doing that, moving away. You're moving yourself. And now you're going to stretch that leg, opening to come back. Maybe he's very smart and he just posture. Go ahead, posture. Posture, posture, posture. And you fall on the guard. But it might be that he's not very aware of the situation, and you just, as you stretch, you get him in the triangle, okay? This will be a matter of how fast you make the transition. If you make it very slow, once you get here, if you make the transition super slow, the guy knows, and then he posture up, posture, and then you just, it's not bad to get in the guard. But maybe as you're making that transition, look, I'm going with my head inside. I raise my hips. His chances of getting out are smaller, okay? So I would say, do it slow at first just to get the movement. Once you get the movement, notice that I'm gonna be spinning on my shoulder blades, okay? If you're trying to spin here with your back flat on the ground, you're not gonna move. But if you do this, and look at the transition, see how my hips are up? Then I go here. If I stay with my hip down, very difficult. He's gonna feel in posture. But then, okay, I fall in the guard. But when I'm making that transition, if I keep my hip up, look, I catch super tight, and I really have the control, okay? So once again, I'm over here, move it away, make distance. Now I'm already doing this. Once I get over here and I have him control, I don't have it to do it right away. He's gonna try to reestablish the position. As long as your knee's pointing out, it's extremely hard for him. Okay? So I get over here, try to posture, get out. There you go. Now he's trying to posture, I have most of my space. Now I'm pushing him away. Look how I go with my hand inside. I go in, stretching, and go. Okay? If you're having trouble, let me know, I'll help. Questions? Want to more advanced? As I said, I will do at some point, but I'm gonna go back to a previous situation where you're gonna use the same concept. So imagine for whatever reason he decided to be controlling facing your legs, okay? That might happen for many reasons. Maybe he's passing your guard over here, and then you block, and then he makes the transition and falls here, or he just decided to do this to look for the mount and everything. See how he's already trying to advance? The higher he managed to come, the worse for me, okay? That's why, again, like I said, you gotta have the habit of keeping yourself small. Keep your arms to you, your elbows glued to your ribs, close to the ground. So go back. If whenever he's making the transition, go ahead and from here and change to there. You keep yourself here. Look, even if he falls on top of your shoulder, it's not as bad as he falling under your armpit here. So even if he falls here, you can probably push yourself and keep it here. This would be the ideal for you. Elbow behind his armpit, and this elbow keeping his hip from coming close. Okay? That's the situation we're gonna work first, when it's ideal for you. So you're gonna keep it, and you're gonna do the same kind of control. Remember I was telling you to do this? You're gonna do that motion. And this is what you're going to do now. You're going to keep it and escape your hip away. Once you escape away, you bring the knee. It's gonna be he's worried to turn and face. If he doesn't react, you just keep going and you're gonna go towards the back. But I can tell you that 80% of the time or more, the guy is gonna go ahead and switch, but at least you put him on the guard, okay? This is simple, it's what we did before, so I'm already gonna show the other one. Just going over that again. I'm keeping myself small. I make some kind of grip. It might be on the pants, it might be on the belt, but just making sure I'm strong here. Here I'm strong. If it opens, I'm weak. So I'm keeping and keeping. On the armpit, elbow on the armpit. Now I just have to escape it out, bring it in. If he's not reacting, I keep going and I go towards his back. Okay? As I said, most of the times he will react. Now let's imagine that he got a better position, so came a little bit higher. Okay? So I cannot recover that extremely hard. This is what I'm going to do. Have my hand right under his butt, okay? Now I'm gonna try to bump him to cause the reaction, just to have a little bit of space in between his butt on the ground, in between his butt and the ground, okay? So my arm can come in. So I might be bumping and coming in, okay? So I'm keeping close, I bump, come in. Just this, I bring it in and let he come on top of my arm, no problem. Now what I'm gonna look for is make a grip on the side of his knee. That's the grip I'm making, okay? Not here, not on the edge, on the line of the knee. Because at this point, what I do is drop my legs completely. I make it feel or look like I have just give up defending the mount. It's a bait. Some people are gonna fall for it. The moment he goes for the mount, go ahead. Look, very important. See how my arm is stretched? I don't allow him to advance. If I would do this without anything, keep going for the mount, this is what he does right away. Mount. He advances, okay? And then it's extremely hard. Now, because I have my arm this control and the arm is stretched, go ahead. Now he tries to advance for the mount, try to advance. It doesn't come forward. And it makes it extremely easy for me to just recover and put back on the guard, okay? So again, don't have the space, he managed to come. This is what I do. Bump, bring it in, okay? Play that. If he falls for it, excellent. Often, I keep it and go towards his back, okay? Now, let's say he's not gonna fall for it. He already know the detail, okay? Now this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and grab whatever I can and just make sure it's tight over here. So he's not going for the mount. So what I'm going to do is bump that way. When I bump that way, he bases out. Maybe he will post the hand, maybe he's just gonna take a step, okay? So I do this. My leg's gonna come inside and catch his leg. And now I'm gonna turn to the turtle position, slide in, and bring him back. Okay? Once again. Change down. So I'm staying here, I will bump one side or the other. Now I will exaggerate the movement. I'm not afraid that he's gonna mount me, so I can really go like this. Because if he does mount, go ahead and mount. From here, I'm already changing to his back, right? So if he just falls not to go, I throw my leg and catch. Once I catch, I just go turtle position, slide in, and bring it to the back. Questions? No, you guys are... No questions. Makes me feel like I'm a good teacher. Nobody have doubts? Okay. If you have questions, let me know and I'll help. Okay? 1, 2. Before we finish, let's see if somebody have questions. Maybe not related with the things we saw. It could be related as well. So if anybody will bring something up. No?
Yeah.
Understand?
Escape from north-south
No.
when you're bottom.
We didn't cover that this week. Okay, so then again, same idea. Whenever I'm over here, right? I'm keeping myself close. Whenever somebody's doing the transition, I'm keeping my elbows together. So as he goes, keep going. Very often, this is what I do. I put my hand on the ribs, and I keep my elbow over here. Okay? I never allowed him to get this. And the reason that won't happen most of the times is because you're keeping yourself close. So as he makes the transition, you go one side, keep going, then you go the other one. And then again, once you are over here, if he's just holding you tight, you cannot get out. You have to wait. So whenever he starts moving, maybe starting to catch your arm or something, that's when you make this face over here. Again, the same kind of movement, the structure. Now I like to do this, and I bring my leg, okay? Now I slide it out, and I bring the knee in. And then, look, very similar to what we did before. Once I'm making that distance, that leg is gonna help push him to the sides, okay? Sometimes people are gonna fall like that. You know, if they're really commit to the movement, they fall. But like I said, when they're more relaxed, they base, and then from here, you just have to scape it out, bring the distance, and come in. So I get out of the north-south mainly with this little thing here. So just making the structure over here. Bring it in, then you choose one side. If you manage to do both, it becomes very easy. You just force that way and come up. It's not impossible, okay, that happens. But most of the times, you don't manage to do space with both. So what you do, you force one side and help push him away. As he's trying to establish his base, you move back, move it in, and at least you recover to keep him in front of you. Okay?
And if you don't have the hands here, or the
Then you have to be patient up to the point where you manage to get back. So you get over here, I just control, and then I'm keeping here. As you start making, because like I said, if you're just holding me, I wait here too. As you start making your transition, that's when I start going. See how I came in? Now look. Same as before, right? So it's basically waiting for the moment where your elbows can go in. So right now I cannot. So I just wait here. As you start moving, go ahead. My elbow is already in. Now I have a chance. Okay? Like I was saying before, escape from side control. There is a base. There is on the structure. Base it on the structure you do. And once you understand this, it's a matter of patience for you to find the right moment to get out. Okay? Anybody else? I'm gonna choose somebody to make a question. No, listen. Everybody's like, oh. No? Okay, if you guys don't have questions, let's make sure nobody leaves before we take a group picture. And before we want to make an announcement, I'd say something. No?
I thought Wim is going to do an announcement.
Ah, yeah. No? Yeah. Well, let's line up then.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, line up please.